RTV6 News starts now.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us right here on Good Morning Indiana. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
And some people might have thought that the forecast this week might have been April Fool's Day, but
no
it feels
fooling.
like spring's here, right?
Yeah, no fooling. We've got temperatures in the mid-50s right now.
This morning on 13 on Your Side, she went viral for escaping police custody. Now she's doing court.
The charges this woman is now facing today.
Plus, construction on the way to Apple Avenue, where you can weigh in on the plan before work begins.
And changes could be coming to short-term rentals in one lakeshore community. The restrictions up for a vote tonight. It's Wednesday, April 1st. You're up with 13.
Good Wednesday morning, West Michigan. I'm Emily Scarlett.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Samantha Jack.
Good to see you. I'm Tanner Holbrook. Thank you so much for waking up with us and watching on 13 Plus. All right, today's kind of a calm day. Then we really get into some more storm chances tomorrow.
President Trump set to become the first sitting president to attend arguments at the Supreme Court as they decide whether his order limiting birthright citizenship is constitutional. Plus, 4 astronauts are getting ready to make a 685,000-mile journey to the moon. It's all next on Newswatch 16 at noon.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is Newswatch 16.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for Newswatch 16 at noon. I'm Rennie Workman. The Supreme Court today is considering a case that could redefine who gets to be an American citizen.
You're watching the news leader, WDAY.
Now at 4, an investigation continues in Warren, Minnesota after a massive fire destroyed the city's CHS grain elevator. What our news team saw at the scene this afternoon. A Bemidji, Minnesota mother is behind bars tonight, accused of giving her daughter meth. We'll tell you what investigators say she told them before she was arrested. And a nonprofit that brings pop-up food pantries to rural communities is suddenly calling it quits. What we know about the lead up to the closure of Ruby's Pantry. Good afternoon, everyone. It's not an April Fool's prank. The first round of snow is moving into the Red River Valley right now. Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Daly has a first look at the radar.
Yeah, unfortunately, that radar is pretty colorful this afternoon.
We are looking at Launch Pad 39B at the Kennedy Space Center. NASA's Artemis II rocket just moments away from liftoff, taking astronauts farther than they've ever gone before. ABC News special live coverage, Artemis II mission to the moon, begins right now.
Good day from ABC Space Headquarters in New York.
10, 9.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
4, 3.
Not because they are easy.
1, 0.
But because they are hard.
We have liftoff.
For the first time, man will go to the moon.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Oh, that view is tremendous.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. We are coming on the air because we are moments away from the historic launch of NASA's Artemis II mission, the first crewed journey around the moon in more than 50 years, taking humans farther into space than ever before.
We are live for the West Coast from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where history was launched tonight. America returning to the moon, Artemis taking off in spectacular fashion, and we have much more on the president's address on Iran and what it means for the future of the war. The awe-inspiring liftoff, the most powerful rocket to ever send humans into space. Artemis streaking across the Florida sky. 4 astronauts now on their way to history to circle the moon and go farther into space than any person has ever gone before. Crowds packing in to witness it all. We're here to bring you every breathtaking moment of it. Also tonight, the president's primetime address wrapping up moments ago. President Trump saying the war in Iran is nearly finished, but suggesting there's still 2 or 3 more weeks of airstrikes and addressing rising gas prices. Our Kristen Welker standing by. History also at the Supreme Court. President Trump attending a hearing in person, a first for a sitting president, as justices weigh his push to end birthright citizenship. How the justices seem to be leaning. Getting treatment, Tiger Woods asking a judge to allow him to leave the country to seek treatment after that DUI arrest. The judge's decision tonight. A suspected stalker attacking Fleetwood Mac star Lindsey Buckingham. The disturbing details about the ambush. Another Ted Bundy victim? The chilling breakthrough in a 50-year-old murder case. How investigators linked a Utah teen's death to the infamous serial killer. Attack on the tracks, a man in Seattle nearly pushed in front of a moving train. The terrifying moment caught on camera. A groundbreaking new weight loss pill gets the green light from the FDA. How much you'll have to pay for it. And from here at the Kennedy Space Center, we're looking up at the astronauts now heading into space and into a new future. How the mission is getting the stage set to go to the moon, but then to Mars and beyond. Nightly News starts right now.
This is a special edition of NBC Nightly News. The return to the moon. Live from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, here's Tom Yamas.
And good evening from the Kennedy Space Center. We're live on the West Coast for this historic night where
Canine Ludo became the unexpected casualty after voters opted for a change in last year's election, but it didn't take long for Ludo to land a new job. See where. Gas prices are hitting you and me, but mass transit is getting a bit of a boost. We hop on the bus, and Joe has the Easter Bunny in mind for this week's Wham Cam. Notice we didn't say the Easter hare. Find out why tonight on Newswatch 16 at 7.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening, I'm Scott Schaefer. A very good boy in Williamsport now has a new job after losing his old one.
Where the news comes first. Northern California's news leader for 70 years. This is KCRA 3 News, live at 7 p.m.
Tonight, the president is sharing an update on the war in Iran when he says the conflict could come to an end.
The changes impacting who qualifies for CalFresh benefits, the number of Californians this could affect.
After a warm, dry March, we're starting the month off with some changes. The Sierra seeing some snow, and we're tracking it all for you tonight.
These past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before.
Tonight, President Donald Trump is sharing an update on the war in Iran. Thank you for joining us for the KCRA 3 News at 7. I'm Andrea Flores.
And I'm Curtis Mang. He is touting the success of the U.S. campaign dubbed Operation Epic Fury.
KCRA 3's Golston Dar joins us now with some of the big takeaways from what the president shared tonight.
Swift, decisive, overwhelming victories. That from the president tonight as he addressed the nation on the war with Iran. We have a full wrap from Washington. How are voters here at home feeling about the war? We chatted with folks in a decidedly red county. And for the first time in 53 years, NASA has successfully blasted off on a mission to the moon. We have the update on Artemis 2 tonight on Newswatch 16 at 11.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is Newswatch 16.
For the first time in more than 50 years, NASA astronauts are on their way to the moon. Thank you all for watching National News Now. I'm George Estevez. The Artemis 2 mission is taking a crew of 3 Americans and 1 Canadian farther into space than ever before, lifting off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida Wednesday evening. 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff. NASA's Artemis II crew is headed to the moon. How today's launch is inspiring a new generation of astronauts.
We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
President Trump's address to the nation, why he says the conflict in Iran is on the cusp of coming to an end. Plus, oil drilling concerns, why environmentalists are fighting against a new measure they say puts Florida's whale population at risk.
Tonight, NASA is making history. This is video from earlier today as Artemis II rocket blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay News. I'm Courtney Robinson. Crews dealt with a couple of issues before the launch, but the 4-person crew is now successfully on their way around the moon. 10 Tampa Bay News anchor Dave Wagner was in Cape Canaveral all day and brings us the details tonight.
Today marks the start of Hot Car Death Prevention Month in Florida, created under ARIA's Act. Thank you for staying up with us tonight for First Coast News at 11. I'm Anthony Austin.
I'm Heather Crawford. It's named after 10-month-old Araya Page, who